Okay, let's make a quick new document in InDesign. We'll go to File, New Document, and then when the new document pop-up comes up, we'll make it a landscape document. We'll leave it as facing pages, and we'll make sure it's A4. So here we go. Now I've got a landscape document. It's a single doc. I can zoom out by pressing Alt and rolling the mouse button. If I want to add more pages, I can go to the window, and all these windows are here, and the one I want is the Pages menu. And from here I can add new pages. Right click to get insert pages. So I'm going to add 4 pages all told. 1. So let's add 3 pages after page 1. And you can see I've effectively got them all there now. And I can see the double page spread underneath it. Okay, before we do anything else, let's load a couple of images. I'm going to close this down because there's not a lot of space on the window. Here is our main toolkit. And you see we've got 2 arrows. This will be familiar if you've used Illustrator. The black selection icon is selecting an object, and the white one is for selecting within the object, and I'll explain that more later on. I've also got a page tool, and we've got things for setting gaps. We won't go into that at the moment. These are all quite advanced. Type tool is important, and then we have things like the rectangle tool. And I won't go into all these at the moment. We'll just deal with the basic ones. So we're going to open up some images and put them in there. So File, and I want to put some images in, and I don't import them, I place them in there. That's the important part at the moment. So if I go to Place, and I'm going to get them from here on the desktop, and I'm going to drag in, let's drag in a couple. Let's just drag in that one and that one for now. Sorry, that one and that one for now. And you'll see straight away I've got a cursor. If I click, it will scale it to the size it was originally. If I click and drag, it will allow me to place it down at the size you expect it to be. So let's undo those first of all. I don't want that down that far. So let's click and drag this so we can fill it the right sort of size. So that fills that in there. And on this page here, I'll stick this one in just so I've got it on a separate page. Okay. Right, let's go back to this. Now, if I click on here, you can see currently the little black figure there. And I can move it around without too much problem. Just the black arrow. If I wanted to move it around inside the box, I click on the white, and now I can move it around inside. In fact, I can resize it inside that huge box if I want to. The white's for working within a selection. Let's put it back, undo it. So here I go. So let's put it over here first of all. Let's select there. You'll notice that in the middle that it changes its form again. That's because it uses a whole set of smart features which allow you to embed and do things. If you move things in the middle, it automatically selects the little white arrow. To be on the safe side, I don't want to do that. I'm going to stick towards the edges. Now I'm going to add a text box. So here's a text box. Let's put in a nice text box, which I'm going to put in for the headline, and I'm going to call it Honey Figures, because that strange figure there is a guy covered in liquid honey. And I'm also going to, let's move it up a little bit, so it's going to be there. That's going to be my title, Honey Figures. Below it, I'm going to put in my name. I want a subtitle for it. Below that, I want to put some text in, and I don't really have much in the way of text, so I'm going to fill with placeholder text. So I've made up some text. It just fills it in. It uses a sort of Greeking, it's called, which is a sort of Latin thing. So there I've got some text, and none of those are fonts yet that I really want to use. So I want to actually set this up. Now, the way in which InDesign works is that it uses styles for virtually everything. So I'm going to create a set of styles for the text here. So window, let's go to styles, and you'll see it's a whole set of styles. We've got cell styles, that's if you're setting up a grid, such as a sort of matrix. Character styles, which are for individual letters or words. Object styles, that for boxes. Paragraph styles, which are for whole sections and paragraphs. So we'll start with the paragraph style. So let's click on paragraph style, and at the moment there's a basic paragraph. We're going to create one, and we're going to call it heading. So I'm going to call it heading. So now I've got a heading style. And I'm going to create a few more as well while I'm here. I'm going to create a subheading style. Subheading. Takes a little bit of setting up. You don't have to do this, but it is advised because it gives you great flexibility later on. And then I'm going to set a final one up, which is body text. Body text, okay. Right, so I've got three separate things here. So if I go to heading, select text here and make that heading. Select this here and make that subheading. Okay, put my full name in. And this down here I shall make body text. At the moment they're all the same. There's no differences here. Why have I spelled it that way? You see, there's a little bit of text editing here you can carry out. It's not brilliant. It's not as good as being a word processor, but it's infinitely nicer than trying to do this in Photoshop. So what I want to do now is start giving this some sort of type of font that I want to use. So let's go to heading first of all. Move it over here so you can see what's happening. Let me just move that. Let me just scroll that over a bit so we can see it at the same time. So, general, these are all the different sort of styles that you've got for the font. So, let's start by deciding what we actually want the style to be. So it's called heading. It's based on no paragraph style. That means I could point it at a different style, which I'm not going to do at the moment. And then we've got the basic character format, which shows me it's Minion Pro, it's how big it is, the leading, the tracking, and we'll come to what they all mean later on, or some other stage. So let's give it a really nice chunky font. So let's find something which it's quite impressive to make it quite nice, and that doesn't really matter, but I won't use Comic Sans. Let's try Chaparral. What's Chaparral? I've made a mistake here. I should have. That is body text. That is heading. Right. Okay. Let's go back to the heading. Okay. So I've now got the heading selected. We can select any of these that we like. It's changing everything. At the moment, every time I change the heading, everything changes, because at the moment I've got body text based on subheading and subheading based on the heading. So let's break that. So let's say that's based on no paragraph style. And let's say body text is not based on anything, no paragraph style. It's cascading down, so every time I changed the heading, it updated it. So now we've got that, we can go back to this. So basic character format, we want that to be much larger. So let's make this something like about 36. Let's change it to be something quite nice. The reason why it's updating is because I've got preview ticked. Do I like that font? Not really. What can I do? Find something nice. Sitka. Not pleased with any of these actually. But anything particularly? Marlet? Marlet's a winding font. That's no good. Mistral. Okay, that's quite horrible, but it will do for this. Let's up the size of that to about 60. And let's change the scale and the spacing. So space after, we want it to be a little bit more spacey, so let's do that. All these things can actually be checked, and that will do nicely for that. Let's go to subheading. That's the heading. Go back down to there. We don't want. Let's click off it completely. I'm not selecting anything, so we've already made that a subheading. So now when we make a change here, that should be good. I'd like it to be bold actually, so make it bold, and let's up the size of it a little bit, say to about 24. But I don't like the colour. I could do one of two things. I could actually change the colour, character colour here, and I can make it any colour I like. It's already set up as a swatch. Let's make it blue, so it's dark blue, which is okay. But I don't actually like any of those colours, so maybe I should create a new colour for it. That's just okay for now. Come out and let's create a swatch. So a window, and I want colour swatches. Swatches is basically a way of setting up whatever colour you want as a pre-defined colour. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new colour. There we go. Copy. And it opened off screen. Sorry, got multiple monitors open. So let's CMYK. I won't bother with CMYK. I'll keep it RGB for now. Let's make the colour of this something. I don't know really. Like a very palish sort of green, quite subtle. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so I've got a colour there. If I want to, I can give it a name. At the moment it's named with the colour value. I can give it subheading. Call it anything I like. It's a good way of naming things so you can set up your own swatches, etc. Let's go back to this. So I go back to paragraph styles, and I go to colour, which is there. I can now find the subheading colour that I've got and add it. Okay, and the same goes for everything else. I could change the text for the main body if I want as well. That's how easy it is to do it. But I can do that as many times as I like. I can make as many different fonts as I like, up any different paragraph styles as I like. And I can also do what's known as character styles. And what character styles are when you want to override little bits in there, so you can do something else with it. So let's go to the window and go to styles and go character styles. Again, the window opened off page. Let's dock it into here, so it's all on the same menu. Let's create one called highlight. Highlight. And I'm going to use red for this. Okay, it's just going to be red is the highlight color, which is cool. So now, if I want to make something highlightable, I've just got to highlight it. So I can go through and I can pick out individual words like that one, make it highlight. This one, highlight it. That one, highlight it, and so on, which is really quite nice. The strength of it comes in if I wanted to change that highlight at any time, because they're just defined by whatever's in the highlight color. I can go through here and I can change them at any time. If I can make sure preview is clicked, they will change everywhere that is in the entire document, which is fantastic. This makes updating and designing a document really easy. Right, we'll look at a couple of other styles, object styles in a second, but I'll stop that here.